Hello everyone, welcome to the first of however many we do of Lesbians Talk
Skype
about movies.
That was really great.
That was brilliantly timing.
When the Skype came up like that.
Yeah. We saw Evil Dead, not The Evil Dead, or Evil Dead 2, Dead by Dawn, or Army of Darkness, which is in the UK sometimes called Army of Darkness, the Medieval Dead.
It is called that?
Occasionally, yeah. Not often, but sometimes.
Wasn't Medieval Dead a video game?
I don't know, but...
It was a video game where you played a skeletal knight. And it was like for PS1 or something, or in 64. Somebody Google that for us, because we're doing this
Army
right
of Darkness,
now.
Medieval Dead, I think is a superior title than Army of Darkness, because it plays in with Evil Dead. But, yep. Now, the way this is going to go is that we're going to give a overall view, spoiler-free, that'll go for the first few minutes. Then we're going to go into spoilers and talk about it in more detail. And hopefully this will not be like me and Arnicarian's very, 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 very long-winded ones that go to tangents. We talk about other stuff, you know.
Dashboard confessionals.
Yeah, we try.
Not the band. They actually sit there and look at the dashboard and confess it all.
We hopefully will, limit that for actually lesbian talk, which we're going to record like in a day or two. The next one.
Yeah, Sunday. Kippers he has opinions, so.
Yeah, he saw the movie too.
Somehow.
Yes. Anyway.
He pirated it. He did. It was a bootleg.
Anyway, general review. Decent, old school, gory and violent as hell horror movie. I have to say it's a little bit weird to see such old school violence and gore in a horror film.
It was a lot of violence.
Yeah, almost no CGI too, except for like the fire.
Well, the thing is that I was thinking about it versus like a trauma movie, and oh, sorry, I'm out of shot. It's weird to be we can see ourselves, so it's because the thing is never mind. But like in a trauma movie, you're like his head just exploded, holy shit, or look at the size of the penis that came out of his mouth. I don't know. But in this one, it was weird because it actually looked like, oh Jesus Christ, he just pulled that sharp thing out of his. Oh God. Yeah, there you go.
Although that actually happened in another Evil Dead film. We'll talk about this later on. There are a lot of references to the other Evil Dead movies. Yeah, very, very gory. What I found weird in juxtaposition between this one and the other, and because it's the old school form of gore, but it looked very clean, like a new school thing, just entirely in the camera. Everything looked sort of modern and nice. But that comes down to how it was shot, what it was shot on.
What was it shot on?
Not sure what the camera, but it doesn't look grainy like the other Evil Dead films. I'm guessing it's some sort of high-end digital camera.
Because that was way back in the day.
Well, the first
when, they recorded movies by chiseling into stone and holding them up real quick for.
Well, the first Evil Dead was recorded on 16mm. I believe that the second two were recorded on 32mm.
I mean, no offense or nothing, but if you look at film from the 80s, my iPhone has better resolution.
Well, that's one of the things. Film is not a perfect medium, and that's one of the reasons people find.
You guys can't see this. My cat is totally licking her hand right now.
Film has a particular look that this really should be on Lesbian Talk. Film is imperfect, and and that's what gives it the signature look.
We'll get back to this next week.
Yes, hopefully, if we remember.
Yeah.
This definitely gave them more of a reason to be in the cabin.
I liked that. Because I always watch horror movies, and I'm like, why is everyone in the world stupid except me? Run the fuck away. But I watched it and I was like, I'd have done the same thing if it was me.
Especially after the monsters happened.
Well, not obviously after the monsters happened. You know what, there's that little bit of reality that you can keep for so long in a horror movie, maybe it was a rat, maybe it was a SARS, I don't know, But then, when shit gets real and demons are about, after that, it's too late to run away.
Yes. It was, okay, it was, as I said, it was very, very solid. At the end, the ending came very, very quickly, and I'm not entirely sure what ended up being the villain, who that was supposed to be. I know it was mentioned as some sort of extra character in the book who was not in the mythos previously to this film. At the end it got a little bit confused. There are events that happen in this which are beautifully Evil Dead level of ludicrous, but because this film is played a lot more serious than the other ones, it feels a little bit out of place.
She was laughing. There was like dismemberment, and like everyone in the audience was like, "Oh, not his! Oh, gee! Oh, her! Oh, God!" And she's like, "Oh, look at that!" And I was like, "I'm eating gummies."
And I was like, it's an Evil Dead movie. You're supposed to do this.
Yeah, but sometimes when you laugh in the theater, you have like this evil Diamanda Hagen quality about you. I don't think you're aware of it.
Oh, and at the end of the at the end, it literally rains blood. A Slayer song became literal reality.
Do you think they got royalties?
I don't know, but it rained blood from something sky.
It's raining blood. Hallelujah, it's raining
I can't remember
blood.
the lines to Raining Blood now. I was originally going to say it was an ejaculated sky because I wrote when I was younger. I wrote a parody of Raining Blood called Raining Cum.
Of course
Raining
you
Cum
did.
from an ejaculated sky. And
Of course you
I
did.
can't remember the original lyrics now. That's annoying.
It's a good thing we didn't meet in middle school. I think I would have been afraid of you.
You're afraid of me now.
That's true. That's true.
But anyway, basic review: solid, not perfect. Not as good as Evil Dead 2 or Army of Darkness. Doesn't have the inept charm of Evil Dead 1. Very polished. It's nice to see an Evil Dead film that's full on serious as it can get for this sort of film. Gore.
Try the gummies. They were a good thing to have with it. I would definitely recommend gummies. You know, over popcorn or Junior Mints. Okay, I liked it. It was good. I mean, we definitely saw some people dying because of undead. There was evil. Deadites. There was evil. There's a great moment in there if you're an old World of Darkness fan. If you can spot it, if you've read Clan Book Bali, then you'll get why I was snickering. But I mean, everything seemed pretty good. I mean, I couldn't find any glaring inaccuracies. There were no props that were, out of place. I guess I could have looked harder, but
Okay, yeah, it's not really not your sort of thing. But
well, there was one inaccuracy that I noticed. Like, there's a part where there's a great deal of a number of corpses of a certain kind of animal, and one of the characters, cleans up that area with a trash bag, but the amount of the carcasses of the dead animal were larger than that he could have fit in that trash bag, and I was wondering, did he use two? And that was never answered.
okay.
I noticed these things.
So, general review over. Now, from now on, you're getting spoilers.
And you can't bitch about it because we warned you.
And I'm gonna whine and talk about the connections to the other Evil Dead films, and you are just gonna be. I think you're gonna be doing a lot of listening.
I'm gonna be adorable.
Okay. Complaint about how this is done set up. They seem to have fundamentally changed the nature of the monsters from the other Evil Deads. The other Evil Deads, it was very amorphous, undefined, maybe Sumerian. They might actually just be sort of nature spirits that you read the words and they suddenly get power and control over the physical world. It's never actually explained, but this one, it's basically generic Satanism.
No, but I disagree with you. I think it's the same Sumerian demon. It's just interpreted through the lens of their cultural experience.
And the book got burned in Evil Dead 1, and that's why the evil was destroyed
No,
in Evil
because
Dead 1.
he said that the cover of this won't burn. I think as an entity, as a ness, as an overwhelming philosophy and concept, this thing exists. Whether or not it's older than Sumer is less yet to be known. I mean, it could be a thing that's like an elder god kind of thing, that the Sumerians interpreted in a certain way, that it was interpreted in what looked like a colonial American culture as, oh no, we're certain, but that's not necessarily the case, and I think that was clever, because I'm a writer, and I get off on that kind of thing.
And here she is explaining my plot holes, from a Evil Dead fan perspective that she can actually work into narrative, which is good. It's because
that's the thing is, like, you always have to think. I know it isn't explicitly said in the script, but you always think. There's more to it than the script, and there's more to it than the characters. You have to think of the world around the script.
And just in case anyone's wondering, why am I complaining about the comparisons to the first one? I'm not complaining because, it's remake, it's different.
You're complaining because it gets you blip revenue.
I'm complaining because this is not a remake. As filmed, it was meant to be a remake, but Bruce Campbell turns up at the end. This is Evil Dead 4. That's why I'm complaining. I wouldn't be complaining about that if it was just a basic remake. And my hands are really large right now.
Whoa, my hands are so nice.
I'm in Children of the Living Dead.
Look how small my hands are. No, but I mean, I think that was kind of cool. It was like a little bit meta. It's like, it's a sequel, but it's also a remake. We're clever. Here's Bruce Campbell.
Your idea about sort of Christian sort of iconography being used because the original book was destroyed, Evil Dead, so it reformed because the films are set in rural Tennessee. This one didn't actually state that, but in the other one it's set in rural Tennessee with rednecks around.
It's always rednecks' fault.
So
always.
If it was reformed around the beliefs of the people of rural Tennessee, then that would make sense.
And almost like an old timey colonial folky kind of thing going on there. Like I want to say maybe early 18th century.
And this is a holdover from
1800s.
This is a holdover when it was just a remake. If you look, you can see how the main characters all have analogues in the original Evil Dead. The characters, occasionally some people will mix with other characters, but generally, the main character, Mia, she is Cheryl from the Evil Dead Ash's sister. You've got her brother in the movie is Ash. He even wears a blue denim shirt. You've got the other male character who wears the same sort of plaid shirt that I call him Jesus guy because he had long hair and a beard. He was basically Scotty from the original one. He even gets killed at the end and comes back as a deadite after being stabbed in the abdomen. This
and everywhere else,
he got punished a lot.
If for the one person out there watching this who's ever played Rifts, basically he was at 99 SDC, he took one more damage, he rolled over to 1 MDC.
Yeah, I almost wish he did not come back as a deadite at the end, even though this, it meant it was...
Yeah, because it was like all the solemn moment, like, dude, man, welcome back, you're here, oh, I died. He's like, oh no, my friend, I gently lay you down into the diseased, polluted sewage water in the basement with all the dead things. I love you, friend. And then there you go.
Yeah, it was like he got punished. He was the one that unleashed the monsters, and that was the single most stupid thing we've ever seen a character do.
Maybe that's why he got
movie.
punished the most physically.
Yeah, I was saying that's why I liked him getting punished, because it was basically he was being punished for being an idiot, but then making him a deadite afterwards is that's a bit too much. This guy, he gets 1,500 nails stuck into him. He gets his hand shattered by a crowbar. He gets
and it's
beaten half
just
to
one
death.
cheek shattered by the crowbar.
Yeah,
he lost his eye.
Yeah, he gets
stabbed in the heart.
He got stabbed a fuckload of times in the face, and then he got stabbed in the chest, in the abdomen with a Stanley knife.
She stabbed him in the heart with the mirror.
Yeah, that was shoulder. But this guy, he possibly received more physical punishment than the entire cast of Evil Dead 2. Ash included.
And he took it like a champ. He didn't whine or anything.
He was there just to be absorbing punishment.
Well, I mean, I spent literally the last 10 minutes of the movie thinking, who is the most culpable here? Because again, if I was in the movie, I would have been looking at someone and go, you know what, this is all your fault. And don't you even start because it was your fault too. And this is exactly how this is your fault and I'm out of here.
Yeah, that we decided that everyone was slightly culpable. Jesus guy was most
culpable. No, the
girlfriend
wasn't. And you can't say it's because her actress was the worst, because
the character was.
But the character didn't know she'd be played by a bad actress. That doesn't make it retrospectively her fault.
I have no idea where she's from, but I was getting a real Elsa Pataki vibe from her. Now, if you've seen any movies by Brian Usna, you know who Elsa Pataki is. She's the Spanish actress with blonde hair who turns up in several of his films, playing Americans with a terrible accent. And she was basically Elsa Pataki.
Well, but again, the character didn't know that she would be played by an actress that you didn't like. I mean, quite honestly, if I was the girlfriend, I would have been like, you know what? Okay, you deal with your family drama and you just deal with it. I don't want to be involved. The girls and I are going to go to Las Vegas and have a girls' weekend. You let me know when your crazy junkie sister is better, and then you come home.
She should have cut her arm off earlier.
But she had no reason to. Oh, you mean a few minutes earlier, or earlier?
Yeah, because Evil Dead 2, Ash immediately, he's his hand he's like that, and he's a second later,
yeah,
he's
but she's not
it.
I mean, it's established that she's no rocket scientist. She's not stupid, but she's,
Well, Ash is
who thinks to themselves, well, gee, I better cut my hand off?
Ash does.
Well, he's Ash. He's singular in himself.
Ash is the dumbest character. He's really, really stupid, Ash. Okay, another thing about Evil Dead. The main character is Mia, who is Cheryl from the first Evil Dead, spends most of the film possessed, then becomes the hero. It's nice to see a subversion of what happened in the first film, although on the other hand, it's... Okay, Evil Dead is unique in that it is the only horror franchise who the main character is the hero. That's unusual. It is also one of the only horror franchises where the hero is regularly male. Every other horror franchise you can think of, a hero was almost always going to be female. Can you think of one where it wasn't? You know, admittedly, the other franchises, the hero...
I saw Scream one time.
Sydney...
I saw a movie called Ticks, but I forget what happened at the end.
Well,
I've seen Arachnophobia, too.
Nev Campbell is the hero of the Scream franchise. I'm talking about franchises, not single films.
I don't know.
Most of the time, the main character is either a villain and male, or it's going to be...
No, because in Lovecraft, it's always a guy.
Oh, I know, I'm talking about film franchises.
Well, I'm trying to bring this back to mind level footing.
Well, Evil Dead is an 80s horror franchise, or late 70s.
A lot of times in Stephen King, it's a guy.
There's movie franchises. You know, that's why...
I could do this all night, folks.
There is... occasionally you get something like Friday the 13th where you had like Tommy, what do you call him, played by Corey Feldman. He was there for like two episodes. But generally, the single main character of a film is going to be the villain, or if there's going to be a hero, they're going to be episodic, turn up and then die, and generally they're going to be female. So Ash in Evil Dead is completely unique.
That's really weird. Why is it like that? You'd think like it would be more misogynistic in like modern culture.
Well, you could argue that it is misogynistic, but that's a different subject.
Oh.
So
who we need Dracula, but that's another story.
So having Ash replaced as main character in this by Mia, it's a shame on one level because this is the only horror franchise with a recurring male hero, and that makes it different. It's a bit like having a Ring sequel where the villain's a guy. They just get rid of Sadako and the villain, or Samara if you want to watch the shit one.
It could be a samurai who died honorably, but he was pissed about it.
Could, yeah, but it just gets rid of one of the unique factors because Ring is one of the few horror franchises that has a female villain. And replacing the villain, you know, to make the series slightly more generic bothers me. I prefer things to keep their uniqueness. Yeah, actually, that's a recurring thing with this. My main problem with this film is it's more generic than the previous ones. Possibly because it's not Sam Raimi who's behind it. Sam is eccentric.
He supervised.
Yeah, he did. So I think that's my final thoughts on it. It's good. It's Evil Dead 1, equal to Evil Dead 1, not as good as 2 or 3.
They never got to eat dinner either. Well, no, I just remember because you were using the electric knife to cut like whatever like meat they had, but they never actually ended up eating dinner. That's unfortunate.
Yeah, they're only there for like 6 hours.
Yeah.
Evil Dead 1, I'm fairly sure they spent a little time there. Oh, the references to the original. There was a hell of a lot of references apart from just the characters dressing and being similar to
there was
the first
title and the...
Yes, there was the title, although the was not in the title. They should have called it Book of the Dead, the original title of the Evil Dead. Or These Bitches Are Witches, which was the other considered title to replace it. In Evil Dead 1 you had the silly little sort of mirror on a chain that came back but covered in wood, and you even had it on the ground shaped like a skull with its wiring, with its sort of necklace part shaped like a skull. That then she picked it up.
Oh no, he gave her the necklace at the beginning.
Oh and yeah, but then she picked it up at the end.
Oh yeah.
And it was the necklace part was shaped like a skull, which was a reference to Evil Dead 1 when they did
I thought it was shaped like, it looked like this kind of like a Hindu pattern, and I was expecting when he gave it to her to say, I got it for you in India because I love you.
Oh well, the actual design of the thing, originally it was just a metal chain with like a mirror in the end.
Oh.
And so they added the wood and stuff to it. But I'm talking about when it was on the ground and she picks it up, and right at the end, the necklace part is sort of wrapped around, and you know, to make it look vaguely like a skull.
Oh, I didn't catch it.
In Evil Dead 1, they did
I was
that.
too busy thinking, when did he have time to restring those beads?
In Evil Dead 1, that was when it was on the ground. There was one scene where Ash picks it up, and it's just designed to look like a skull. Sam Raimi said that was their attempt at doing some sort of subliminal horror, you know,
It's not really subliminal. I mean, you're already doing a horror movie. It's not like everyone's going to be like, I thought this was a documentary until now.
Well, it was supposed to be a subtle scare, and Evil Dead 1 was not frightening. It was accidentally funny. That was why it became a classic.
At least it's not accidentally racist. That's topical.
Why?
Because that song.
Huh?
There's a song called Accidental Racist by, like, some country guy in LL Cool J, and it's, like, the worst song ever, and everyone's upset.
Oh, yes. Let's see, other references to this one. Cheryl and Dr. Noby from the first film, they use some of the voice there. They use the name of the book from the first film rather than the second for some reason. The Omega mentioned the cats being strung up. In the original film, it was gourds. I really wish there was a poster for like the remake of A Nightmare on Elm Street, and it had been torn in half and like posted on the wall, because one of the things in the original Evil Dead was a poster for a film by Wes Craven. They tore it in half as if to say, "This
Look,
is
you, Wes Craven, we're better than you."
Yeah, it was a reference to say,
I'm gonna go on to direct Xena and Hercules.
It was basically to say this was more frightening than that. And then of course, then they came back and had them watching in one of the Nightmare on Elm Street films. They had Johnny Depp watching Evil Dead, and then in Evil Dead 2 they had a Freddy claw hanging from the work shed.
So is there a feud? Is this feud still going on between
I think not really, but the Necronomicon then turned up in Friday the 13th Part 8, I believe, and Freddy's glove turned up in that as well. It was like these little franchises were referencing each other, and just to the side.
Technically, the Necronomicon is from Lovecraft anyway. I'm just saying.
Yeah. But just as a side note, I'm really sorry that Freddy versus Jason versus Ash never happened. That would have been beautiful. That was going to happen.
Oh, really?
Sam Raimi nixed it.
Douchebag.
It would have been wonderful. Of course, they would have had to kill Ash and then have him come back as like a superpowered good Deadite to kill the other two.
Well, he could have won.
No, Ash would have had to have died, and then because they're both dead and superpowered, and so taking them both on, then you bring him back as dead and superpowered, and then he could have killed them both.
No, he could have used trickery and got them to go against each other, and then.
Well, they did that in Evil Dead. They did that in Freddy vs. Jason.
I'm just saying.
Well, I'm just thinking that's how I think it would have gone. But lots of references. The Oldsmobile is there, even though it was pulled into the time vortex in the very start of Evil Dead, end of Evil Dead 2 / start of Army of Darkness. So many references. It was wonderful. You could spot the references. It looked
She was twitching, I tell you what.
Yeah, I like the Evil Dead films. I'll shut up now.
No, we're recording this for a reason. We have 20 minutes left, so you better make it worth it.
No, I think that we're supposed to do this one as a fairly short review. So,
Do I get to say what I think?
Yeah.
Well, it was good, and I would have liked if we'd paid a little bit less to see it. The gummies were good. I got water, but I forgot to drink it. We got trailers for like Iron Man 3 and that Will Smith. Oh, and you were upset because she didn't know that apparently in the UK they don't do like, they'll do like the first look, with the upcoming movie and interviews and stuff like that. And what did you call it? A trailer for a trailer?
A trailer for a fucking trailer. I don't go to the cinema to see like interviews with Will Smith talking about how this movie with M. Night Shyamalan's going to totally rock and be boss-yo.
It's totally not going to bomb like his other one. Ooh, awkward. But it was good. There was a lot of blood and stuff, and people got torn into bits.
There was tree rape. I was so happy to see tree rape.
There was tree rape.
Evil Dead 2 did not have the tree rape, neither did Army of Darkness. It was like, oh, they're using the tree rape again.
Although, there is another factual inaccuracy I just realized. When she ends up with most of the car submerged, as we know from Mythbusters, it would have been really hard to open the door because there was the pressure. She would have had to really, and she was like, oh, let's open the door. And I'm like, stop.
Yeah, even as a child I worked out that bit that you'd have to, that if you were in a car you'd have to get the fully submerged where you'd have to open the door.
Yeah. So there was that. I kind of felt bad for the nurse because she did have the best of intentions, although she was in over her head, and it just like the beginning. Everyone's like, "Hi, my friend, I guess," and I'm like, "Oh, it's like all the vacations I've taken with friends. Everyone hates each other from the beginning."
The very early shots were when they were following the car over there. Oh, there's a pre-credit sequence which I could have done without. It was crap. The CGI was terrible. It was unnecessary.
But we think one of the actors may have been an actual burn victim. We're not sure if it's a prosthesis or not.
And right after that, you have the car going in there, and it looked like it was like a drunk version of the first shot of Kubrick's The Shining, because it was just like following the car, but it's like we're lolling about, we're not
that kind of made me feel a little sick.
Yeah, it was like the
I was like, I don't know why that happened.
The helicopter guy was drunk.
But they thought, this is going to make an awesome shot, and I'll really watch this.
Well, I thought it looked good. I just wish they'd sort of mixed all those shots together and had one continuous one rather than lots of short, we're drunk shots. And then after she crashes the car, then there's this bit when they're in a really bizarrely foggy sort of lake or something, and it's like, oh, it's the first shot of the first Evil Dead. You get a little handheld shot over this bizarrely foggy lake and a car is nearby. Aww.
How could you tell it was a handheld shot? They could have been up a tree and had poles and were holding the camera.
Was either
like that.
handheld or Steadicam or something like that. The original one, they were on a tiny boat and they tied like a small camera the size of that to Sam Raimi's arm, and he went like this.
Do you know what I kept thinking? And the shots leading up to the tree rape. I wonder how many takes it took this poor actor's fumbling around in the sticks like that, getting all scraped up for reals, before they were like, all right, we got a few good takeable shots. Have good takeable shots.
Oh yeah, the one who played Cheryl and who that happened
she got
to.
Scratched up, I guess.
Yeah, she got completely fucked up in the original.
But the insurance company in the credits, the insurance company that in one of the was called Momentous Insurance Coverage. Wouldn't you want to work for that company? Where do you work? Momentous. Obviously, I was paying attention to the wrong things.
Yes.
Well, I think about things like that. If I'm not drawn into the story because I care, then I'm thinking like, I wonder what the actors were thinking. Was it really cold? I hope they took them out to dinner after that, or like, or like, how did they do that shot? Why is that overexposed like that? We should ask Brad Jones. I bet he would know. And you're like, oh no, it's the demons. And my friend who couldn't stay because she had to drive home, she was like, oh, things and stuff. And I'm thinking like, those are neat props. I wonder if they got them at the thrift store. Did they make them?
I just had a thought.
I think about things.
Every single time we do a vlog for a movie together, either it's something that that you're familiar with intimately beforehand, like The Hobbit, or if something that I'm familiar with infinitely, like with Evil Dead or the Avengers. Well, you had The Hobbit and Silent Hill, so it's like there's never going to be a film that we see that both of us go in there clean.
We might. I'm sorry, honey. If I'm not interested to the point that I lose myself, when my brain starts to fidget and I start wondering about practical things.
That's fine. That's fine. But anyway, I think we might have thought of some things to discuss in the next Lesbian Talk, which will actually be about a week and a half for you guys.
And we're probably going to do another one of these because guess what we get to go see when it comes out?
Iron Man 3.
I can't wait! Another movie about superheroes.
You love Iron Man.
I like Tony Stark. I think Robert Downey Jr. is a good idea.
He's the main character.
Good job. I never go see anything I want to see. Granted, I can't think of anything that I ever want to see, so.
And
okay, if Mythbusters was in the theater, I'd go see it.
We saw Birdemic.
We did, that was really
fun. We saw the live riff of Birdemic, and riffing isn't really my thing.
And because this will probably go up before then, if you are in the Baltimore or DC metro area, if you want to come up to the charming city of Baltimore, not this weekend, but next weekend, April 26th and 27th, Mondo Baltimore has teamed up with Troma to bring you the Tromapalooza Mondo Pity Party, which is going to be a huge film festival. The Taint is going to be screening. There's going to be a sneak peek for Return to Nukem High, and a screening of
Birdemic 2, which we are hopefully we're going to try and see all three of those.
All the CGI birds you can handle.
And we're going to be covering it for Project Million Entertainment.
Do-do-do-do. We need a little jingle, like NBC for Project Million, so I could have sang it.
Yeah, me.
I think that might be copyright. Somebody get on that. Get on. We'll pay you. Don't worry.
Yeah. So if you don't get to go, watch this space. We're going to do some sort of video about about Baltimore Tromapalooza 4 p.m. each.
Live vicariously through our exciting lives. So I guess we're done. Does that mean that we can watch More Bizarre Foods now?
Yes.
We'll see you next time, everybody.
Okay.